right, it's 8:33 on Saturday morning. You're watching and listening to Breakfast with Angela and Martin.
So let's take a look at today's front pages of your newspapers. The Prime Minister could face a backbench rebellion over his upcoming deal on the Northern Ireland Protocol, and that's according to The Guardian.
In the Eye weekend, over 70% of voters polled believe water company bosses should face criminal charges for polluting rivers with sewage, and that sounds fair enough.
The Express says arrogant BBC under fire after the Director General said how amazing it was that people were happy to find £159 to pay the licence fee amid the cost of living squeeze.
Yeah, and the FT weekend says European gas prices have hit an 18-month low as traders report growing confidence that countries will avoid shortages this winter and next. OK, so let's bring the bills down,
exactly.
please.
Let's see what it does. And Princess Diana's former butler wants to share her secrets with her sons before he dies from cancer. So, time to go through the actual papers now with our guests. And, they've been very lively this morning and prompted a lot of comment from you as well. Because joining us in the studio is radio host and broadcaster Pete Price and the writer and columnist Emma Wolfe. Welcome to you both. Emma, start us off, will you, with a story in The Telegraph which really has been gripping the nation, hasn't it?
It has, and we've reached this very sad sort of marker, which is 3 weeks since Nicola Bulley's disappearance. There's a beautiful photograph on the front of The Telegraph of Nicola Bulley with her father, and he's saying every day without her is a struggle. It's really difficult, isn't it, in the media, how we are covering it, how the media in general are covering it, not fueling the speculation and the unhelpful chit-chat around this, but also keeping it front and centre, which obviously the police need to do. The Prime Minister has come out, as well as the Home Secretary a few days ago, saying they're not comfortable with the information, with the revelations that Lancashire Constabulary have released about Nicola Bulley. As a woman, I feel appalled at the stuff that the police have said about her. I don't think there are ways of saying someone maybe had mental health issues or whatever. If they needed to say that, I think they went way too far talking about early menopause, talking about alcohol issues. I think whatever the reasons, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we are not privy to, I think that they have gone too far. And just what her family are going through,
Interesting you say that. I don't think they've gone too far. I feel that if they mention alcoholism, it might have helped because somebody might know her from, I don't know if she goes to AA or any of those.
We don't know she's an alcoholic.
No.
You have to say that. We don't know she's an alcoholic.
No. But also, this is really, really interesting because the whole media descended on the police. I don't think they were ready for it. I don't think they've experienced anything like that, which has got to be managed.
I want to ask you, as a long-time broadcaster, you must have dealt with many of these similar sorts of cases over the years. What's the general likelihood of a positive outcome in cases?
Sad to say, I don't think there is a positive outcome. I found one night a lady with dementia, and I found her through the show, and the power of that was great. I think it's terribly sad, and I think the unhelpfulness of social media has been wicked. Some of the people on that have been absolutely wicked. We can't imagine the pain that family's going through, but it is a mystery. It really is a mystery.
We were talking earlier, weren't we, Martin, about the fact that apparently there are some 15 people a day on average that go missing. What is it about this case, do you think, that has caught the public's imagination in the way that it has?
In my humble opinion, she's an attractive woman, and the papers have picked up on it, and it would have been interested if she hadn't have been unattractive. I'm sorry.
What do you say about that?
No, I think
she's an ordinary mum.
I think it's that we've all done the school drop-off, that we've taken the dog for a walk. She is a young-ish mum with young daughters. I think it's more the everyday thing. Of course, she's a beautiful woman as well, and there is something about this that's so unexplained. And it's not just the family's pain; it's the not knowing, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the Madeleine McCann situation where you just are waiting for information, and of course, but I do strongly feel that this is private medical information. To talk about somebody's menopause, it's private medical information. Your doctor wouldn't release this. I don't know what the police thought they were doing.
Surely it was a case of it would have been far more useful to tell the investigating officers and the ground team this information, but not the general public.
How is this relevant?
But we haven't got the facts yet, have we? No. So we don't know. There must be other stuff that we don't know about. But to the family, I can't imagine the pain they're going through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad language, Pete, is the story that's taken your attention.
Yeah, it's a very interesting story. Sexual abuse, language and conduct is normalised in school. Children as young as 11 are being exposed to harassment and abuse. The one fact, they spoke to 6,000 children, the one fact that I didn't like, really didn't like, 21% have been sent, of 6,000 pupils have been sent nude pictures on their phones. These are the kiss of death sometimes. Yeah. What I wanted to say about the story is, when I was at school, it was no different in any shape or form, except we have social media, which has changed it.
It's magnified it.
Yeah, absolutely. And children can get porn on this. It is a wonderful tool, but it's also a monster. But abuse, the abuse in school, as a gay guy growing up, and it was illegal in those days, so we lived in fear. So we've always had abuse, but they're making and magnifying it. And I mean, the word gay in school, like, you're gay, I'm gay, you're gay, you're gay. I mean,
and that's
children,
the thing, but we live in a culture where we're too frightened to say, to call someone he or she, and yet the abuse and the sexually explicit material that our children, young boys under the age of 10, over 50% have seen pornography. Whereas when I was young, I remember my big brother having, these magazines passed around in their teens, Playboy or something like that. But no, the amount of extremely explicit material that young children are now seeing, the damage to relationships as well, young girls expecting their first physical relationships to include violence and sexually abusive language. It's really worrying.
I tell you what, also, we should use this now to every child watching, to every parent. Please don't put photographs of yourself up naked. They are there forever. Do not be talked into by boyfriends or girlfriends. Do not do it. It is the most... it's there for the rest of your life.
And in actual fact, Pete, that is a great message to send out, because as you know, we've debated about this in the past. I'd made a TV show about young lads getting addicted to pornography, and the thing is that we have to understand young people's brains aren't fully developed until they're about 24.
Exactly.
As a consequence, they make decisions they think are great because it offers instant gratification, and in actual fact, it's a longer-term bad choice. And parents out there, take a role in that. Say to your kids, just think things through. The internet is forever.
And pornography does not teach you about lovemaking. It's sex. Yeah. It tells you nothing about romance, tells you nothing about personal, intimate relationships.
Which moves us to, I think, very smoothly, Emma, the story that you've picked up in The Sun about Prince Andrew.
Well, we haven't talked about the royals for at least, 10 minutes? The deluded Duke of New York. So apparently Prince Andrew is keeping an eye on the careers of Harry and Meghan across the pond. I'm not sure why he thinks that's a good example to follow, but he does. He's not that bothered. The Duke of York apparently is not that bothered about the loss of his royal titles. He was stripped by the Queen of his royal titles, wasn't he? He's assembling a new communications team around him, and he's eyeing up a new career.
As what?
Well, if he's looking at Harry and Meghan's career, I think it's not clear yet, but he's looking across to America maybe to develop a new career.
Do you think, to all of us here, does anybody at this table believe that there's a way back for Prince Andrew?
No.
That's quick. That was quick. Emma?
No.
Okay.
Depends where he wants to go, I think.
Yeah, that's a polite way of saying no.
And as we're trying to overturn his, the Virginia Giuffre settlement, one wonders why he wants to dredge all this up.
Why can't people just quietly disappear and play golf or shoot grouse or shoot poor people, whatever he does? Sorry to be, but it's like, no, you don't need to be in the public eye. Just move away with dignity.
He should go public and be honest. Simple as that.
Well, there we go. Pete, tidying up. I'm going to stand in the middle of you two here because I'm not quite sure if you agree on this story.
I think we do agree.
You do?
Yeah. I think we do agree. It says here that men just don't feel the urge to tidy up.
We should say.
Yeah,
in the mail.
yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
I've just been put in my place by a legend.
Sorry, in the mail.
That's great.
Yes.
I love this story because men, women, them, whoever, whatever, are all untidy or tidy. There's no in between. I iron my sheets on my bed every day of my life.
What?
And with the iron, I am unbelievable. unbelievably tidy. This guy says, my wife gets really upset. I leave my clothes there on purpose because I can find them. She puts them away and I can't find them, which really annoys me.
Well, I thought I was anal retentive on my tidy. So I'm an obsessive tidy, but ironing your sheets.
Yes.
On the bed.
Yeah, because I always, when I get into bed at night, I always think, like a film star, I'm Jane Russell or something, and getting into a crisp bed, and then it gets all crumpled again. But no, I am ultra tidy, ridiculously tidy, stupidly tidy.
I am not going to get that vision out
So
of
are
my
you
head.
tidy, ladies? Are you tidy?
Yes, I am tidy.
I'm tidy, but I think there's a difference between tidiness and cleanliness.
Yes.
I'm really OCD about cleanliness. I don't want shoes in the house. I don't want street clothes all over the... I think that people who are clean, there's something about getting into a fresh, clean bed. But I'm not so fussed about the ironing, whether the sheets will be ironed. So for me, tidiness, but also cleanliness.
Okay, finally, one quick story if you're thinking about getting away from it all. The Guardian, this was a story actually in the Daily Star earlier in the week. Good to see the Guardian following the Daily Star. Remote Western Australia seeks to lure...
Yeah, I'm afraid I chose this out of sheer indulgence, right? Brits who are fed up with grey skies, with winter, with cost of living crisis and everything, are being lured to the state of Western Australia. They want around 31,000 workers. They've got job vacancies for around 31,000. And they can promise, well, obviously, jobs such as teachers, police officers, nurses, doctors and plumbers.
We need them here.
Well, we need them here.
Hands off.
But they can promise glorious weather, 300 odd days of sunshine a year and amazing beaches, a surf and sunshine lifestyle.
Have we got £10 poms back again then? Are they helping?
Absolutely heavenly.
Yeah, and are they giving you sort of financial persuasion to go there, like the £10 poms?
No, they're just trying to encourage. They're tempting us with the offer. Much lower cost of living and these glorious, glorious beaches.
I once walked around Uluru at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is Ayers Rock.
Yes.
And it was the most horrendous experience in my life. I had to have a net to cover for the fly. Get out my mouth, you horrible. But I loved Australia. It was very nice. But
many people did go, didn't they? Back in the 50s and 60s.
They
They don't remember that.
I do.
In the 50s and 60s, and actually built complete new lives there, didn't
they? In fact,
they?
I lived in Australia for a year, and in Sydney, and it was incredible. But back then, the exchange rate was really good. I've got friends who moved there subsequently, and now Australia's really expensive. Yeah. So even though you're getting tempted over there, it's not all the kind of streets aren't paved with gold.
But it is a great lifestyle, let's face it.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Would you go then, Emma? Is that why?
I'd love to go. I just think there's a lot of us who just feel they've reached peak fed-upness with the UK at the moment. I think we're in a real slump as a country, and this just kind of made... I mean, I couldn't go, but I don't even drive. I couldn't live in Western Australia. There's miles and miles and miles between anything.
You can't drive to Australia.
But you know what you're saying about that? Sorry, you're saying that, but you know what? It's every country there's major problems now. Yeah. I'm still travelling. I've just come back from New York. Scandalously expensive. Yeah. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not just us, honestly.
Pete, we've been talking about Manchester United all morning, but I want to quickly turn to your final story in today's Mirror. Football fans are sick of being blamed, lied to and endangered.
I'm a great fan of Brian Reid's writing. Great fan. He's put football fans as sick of being blamed. He says, I've been given 2 apologies in the past fortnight from organisations that chose to smear me with lies. He talks about Hillsborough and how the police now have actually apologised all these years later. Then he said about going to the Champions League final in Paris and being kettled and into a room, a place, and then pepper sprayed. He's had an apology for that. Enough is enough. The fans are keeping football alive. Let's not forget this. We've got what's going on in Manchester now. I think it's disgraceful, and Brian Reid is right. It's disgraceful the way the fans have been treated and are treated, and I think it's about time they had a bit more respect.
Fabulous. Well, Pete and Emma, thank you very much for another lively round, and we'll see you again in the next hour.